Welcome to Colorado Martini's Tech Time. Today we're going to talk about how you can make a map for your website, your blog, your vlog. If you're doing anything that has to do with locations, you're missing out if you're not using these maps. Today on Colorado Martini. I absolutely love these maps. I discovered them on somebody else's YouTube channel and I decided to try it out for ourselves. And it has been absolutely wonderful. So basically I share the link in my videos or on my blog or in my social media, and it takes you to these maps that I've created. And what's great about them is that I can share the pictures I took at that site. I can even share the video I made on it. I can add some more information. I can send people to my affiliate sites. It's just been wonderful and gives people a little more visual about the places that you visited, or maybe you want to use it for something like the places where you got one of your hauls. You know, where you went to this Target and found this, and you went to this Dollar Tree and found this. There's so many different ways that you could use this, but it's especially wonderful if you're into doing adventure, travel, even if you're in paranormal investigation and you want to show the different places that you went to. So let's take a look at what I have put together on one of our maps. This is one that I created for the Black Hills. And what you're able to do with these is you're able to center a default view. So when you send this link to your viewers, this is how the map starts. And as you can see, I have it centered on the Black Hills because that is the subject matter that I am using within my YouTube videos or my blog, coloradomartinis.com. And the various places that we have visited and that we are talking about in various videos or articles that we've put out. So let's focus in on this area. So your users are able to just focus in and go in, and you can see that I have many markers in a ghost town that we visited. So you're able to change what icon you're using, and in this case I decided to use a little ghost because this whole area is a ghost town. So when you click on them, my viewers are able to see the video I have on that particular subject. And I also have a little bit of an explanation on what this site is, what this ghost town is. It's the ghost town of Spokane. And I also have links to the article that I wrote about it on our blog, along with the actual video that we made on this particular site. So that's so powerful as far as I'm concerned. So not only am I showing my viewers in a video what we saw down on the ground, but I'm showing them from the from satellite view of what is there and kind of where it's located and how they could get there. So they can click on these various markers that I have dropped on this map, and it shows pictures that I took of that particular structure. So this right here is the caretaker's house that we saw. This is what it looks like. I have a little bit about the caretaker's house, what it's all about. And as you can see, I have 2 photos and a video attached to this marker. So when my viewers click on this particular marker, not only will a photo come up, but also several pictures will come up showing the different aspects of what that marker is showing. And it also, the last one is the actual video itself. So each one of these markers, the last item I have attached is the video that takes you to this site, is our travel guide to Spokane. So each one of these has something similar to that, showing the collapsed schoolhouse that once stood there. I have 3 photos attached and the video that will take you to my YouTube channel and the video I have on this place. Each one of these, you know, I got very frustrated when I was at this ghost town because there were many structures. And when I was on the web trying to find out information about this ghost town, one thing that was frustrating me is I wasn't sure what was what. And so that's where I came up with the idea of doing this, that I could actually show my viewers or my readers of my blog of what these different things were, and what the history is behind that particular structure. So I spent a lot of time trying to find this schoolhouse, and it turned out it was just a pile of rubble now, and didn't look like anything that I saw on the web, which was this. This picture's old, where it now is a collapsed structure. I mean, these were the pictures I was finding. I didn't see anything like that when boots were on the ground. And then this is the video. It takes you right to your YouTube video. I mean, how huge is that? That's just wonderful. But this is what it looks like now. So I wanted to show our viewers what we saw, above and beyond the video, and where that structure really is located now. So you know, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's huge as a travel and adventure channel or blog, to show your subscribers and your followers where these things really are. I even talk about where to park, you know, what that looks like, you know, how to find that. Every time that you know, go there, it's hard to find because it's just this little offshoot on the side of the road, and to be able to find that is actually really hard. So this actually not only tells your viewers or your readers where things are exactly, but it gives you a little explanation of what you're looking for and the exact location of where the parking is, so they can get the coordinates, which I already have in my video and in my article. But it actually you can actually do a direction to where this is. So if my users click on that, it will bring exactly where that is, and you can have a starting location, and they can get, you know, let's say they're coming from Mount Rushmore National Park, because this is very close to that. They can actually get directions to where that where the parking lot is. I mean, I just think that's huge as a travel vlogger, blogger. So let's take a look on how you can construct your own map. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to go to google.com, and up on the right hand corner here, you need to be logged into your account. So if you don't have a Google account, you need one to be able to do this. So I am logged in as Colorado Martini. I click on what I call the Rubik's Cube Google Apps icon here, and I click on Maps. Okay, so it basically takes me to the map application that Google has within their suite. And then I am going to go to the menu up here, which I call the hamburger menu, because it looks like a hamburger. And I click on that, and I have many different options. So I am going to go down to your places. Okay. So you can see I have labeled, saved, visited, maps. Okay, so I'm going to go into maps. So I actually, if we go into saved, I have my favorites, and you can see that they're private, things that I've starred, But I also have maps, not only my own maps, but I have maps that I have gone into before. Maps that, like this Moab area rock art, it's huge. It shows me exactly where all the petroglyphs are in the Moab area. I mean, I just can't tell you how huge that is as a blogger and vlogger. So it does show your recent maps. You can go in and see all of them, but it's only going to give your last 6 that you visited. So as you can see, I've named these 2 maps Colorado Martini as a beginning because they're my maps. They're maps I put together. And so you really want to say your name as much as you can so people remember you. I have one on Wyoming and all the places that we've gone to Wyoming. And then I have our Black Hills one that you just saw, that I have our Deadwood locations, the ghost towns that we've gone to, all the different places that we've gone to in the Black Hills. And I have several videos about the Black Hills. So it has links and photos that take you to those different videos that we have done in the Black Hills. Again, huge. But we're going to work on one that I just started up again, and that is my Wyoming one. I've done a lot of videos in the state of Wyoming. And one thing I want to show you that I started with is that in the explanation, I actually explain to my viewers how to use my map, because that's the one thing that I noticed, that when you are in a city, you're still going to get all the things that come up for that particular city. And so I found that kind of frustrating because I just wanted my tick marks to show up, not a bunch of other ones, okay? And to make mine stand out. So I make mine in red, and I say that in explanation on what how to use my maps. Now, this explanation here, I've just copied and pasted from my Black Hills one, so I need to alter it to an explanation about this particular map. But I do have the links in here to my channel, to my blog. I mean, that's just wonderful. And I'm going to add the different places that we have gone to in Wyoming. So for our purposes today, we want to know how to create these from scratch. So when you're on your places in Google Maps, you're going to see down on the bottom here, create maps. So we click on that, and a fresh map appears for us. The world's our oyster. So we have spent a lot of time in the New Mexico area. So I am just going to put in New Mexico. So it's going to scale down into New Mexico. It will already come up with a pin for the place that you put in. So let's say this was Moab. If I had put in Moab, it would already have this whole explanation on Moab, or let's say it's Las Vegas, okay, Nevada. It already has this little explanation, and we can add this to the map. But I have found that I prefer doing my own pins rather than the pins that it gives me. Because it's not added to the map yet unless you click on add to map. So we're going to go back to New Mexico because that will get us centered where we want to be. Okay, so we've gone to many, many different places in New Mexico. And again, this pin's not dropped unless you tell it to drop. So it's just centering me in the state. So first off, I can change the look and feel of my map. I can go into base maps, and I can actually change the way I want this map to look. You have many different options. I actually kind of preferred this one because it makes the red pins that I like to use stand out. I like this a lot because we're going to a lot of travel places and places that are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So it's nice to show the topography of where you are taking people. If you're in a city, you might prefer this one because it gives a little more of the the routes to get there a little more distinctively. There's just many, many, many to choose from. I've seen a lot of people use this one. So think about the contrast of the pins that you're going to drop, what's going to stand out. So why don't we try this one and see how it goes. So it's already added one for us, but we're not going to use that one at all. So what we can do is we can add different layers. But first, let's name our map, okay? So if we click on this, we can actually name it. So of course, I'm going to start it with Colorado Martini because it is our map. Colorado Martini's, New Mexico, travel guides, okay? And then you can add a little description. You know, you want to say something like, are many visits to New Mexico are red pins on the map. And then you should always add your URLs to your videos or your YouTube channels. So in this case, it's Colorado Martini. Okay, and then you can add many more. I always like to put a little arrow here too, which I have to go get. But for our purposes, we're just going to leave it at that. Okay, so it's showing the description here, and you know, and then it's showing all the different, you know, things that you have saved. Okay, so when you come in here, you have a layer. You can do different layers. So when they click on these layers, it will just show that particular area. So I like dividing mine up different ways depending on what we're looking at. So in like my previous maps, when you look at these layers, I have several different layers. Right now I have nothing under these because I'm still adding to this map. But I have my Deadwood layer and I have my my Spokane Ghost Town, which is this area, and this being Deadwood. So my viewers, when they look at this, they can unclick certain areas so only those things appear. So I find that I have to go into a different type of browser to really see what my maps look like to a user, because when I go into Chrome or wherever I'm logged into as Colorado Martini, it takes me into this view and I'm not getting a true representation of what I want to look at. So if I go into a different type of browser, it really shows me what my maps are going to look like to my viewers. Okay, so if I go back to the home page and let's say I go back out and I'm looking at all of the Black Hills, there's my map right there, but I just want to see my Deadwood stuff. My users can unclick and just focus in on Deadwood. So if something's a little too messy, they can unclick. So these are the different layers that I've added. And they can actually click on these to take you right to that particular item. So if I go in a little bit more, let's go into Deadwood. And I'm like, oh, Mount Moriah Cemetery. Where the heck is that? Boom. It shows me not only Mount Moriah Cemetery, but it shows the video I have on it, some explanation about it, and takes you right to the blog and the history and the video of Mount Moriah Cemetery. So that's, you know, that's huge. But do notice that when you scroll in, it has all this other stuff too. That is not us. And that's why I have mine in red, to kind of make ours stand out a little bit more. I have different icons. So this is obviously a place that we go drinking. This is a place where theater happens. This is a museum. So I have the different icons. So I get a little frustrated about these other icons on here. I haven't figured out how to get rid of them, but they're a little annoying that they're on there, because this is about are places that we have gone and not the places that Google has put on the map. Okay, so let's go back to creating. Okay, so so when we go back into the new map that we're creating, notice how this has not been added to the map. Okay, so that's why you get a little plus sign here, and that's just because I first put in New Mexico. So I can rename these layers. So let's call this layer historical, Billy the Kid's historical locations. Okay, good enough for now. Okay, so that made that layer for me. Okay, so you can import CSVs that have the coordinates of the different places. So if you wanted to make a list of all the coordinates of all the places and bring them all in one batch, you're able to do that with this import. But for our purposes, we are going to add stuff on the map. So the first thing I'm going to do is Fort Sumner, because that's where Billy is buried. Okay, and he's actually buried outside of town. So let's go Billy. So let's go Billy the Kid's Grave and Visitor Center. Okay, so notice, this came up all about it and where it's located and stuff, but I want to have my own little thing. Okay, so I am going to add this to the map. Okay, but I'm going to remove all this information. Okay, so it's got my little icon here. Okay, so it even gives me the coordinates, which is just, it's huge because we go to a lot of remote places and it doesn't have addresses. So, coordinates are very important to us. So we can change the style. Okay, so let's say I want to make that, red. I want it to stand out. I have all these different icons that I can change it to. So if you go into more, maybe there's one that's about graves or cemetery. Okay, they don't have one, but I think I am going to make this, let's put this into maybe, a park. Okay, so I've got my little icon where the gravesite is. Now what I can do is I can edit and add a little description. This is the site where blah blah blah. You can put a whole explanation about the whole thing. And what's cool too is that you can also put the links. You have to do a shift enter to add more lines. If you push enter, it saves it. And so you can put your your YouTube, the YouTube video, blah, 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 the link right here. I always put like little icon arrows right here. So it really stands out. They could take you right to not only your blog article about this, but also your YouTube video. I mean, it's huge. Okay. I can add pictures. So I can either go out to the web and look for things, or I can go out to, pictures I already have out there. I can go out to my photos and upload a picture. Okay. Or we can even do an image search. So let's just do that. So Billy the Kid. Okay. And, we'll just we'll just grab one. Okay. So it's added one photo. Okay. But let's say I want to do more. I do the plus sign and I want to put my YouTube video. So I can either search for it or just give it the link. So, so we could go, we found Billy the Kid. And just to make sure that it comes up with me, I'm just going to put in Colorado. See if it comes up with me. Yay, there we are. Okay, so there's the two videos that we have on Billy the Kid, one about his grave and one about the Lincoln County Wars. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one. Okay, and save. And boom, my video. So not only do I have a picture and I can keep adding, but I have the video and you can literally click on the video and it plays. Nothingness. So that's huge. The one thing I did learn is putting the video last in, because if you put it first, it just kind of takes away from the whole aspect of what you're trying to do. You're better off having your pictures first and then them thumbing through, because you can put the link to it down here and it actually has a little more impact. Plus I kind of prefer it down here because it will open up in YouTube and play my commercials, which is important to people that are monetized. So it is just a really huge thing. Okay, you can put in directions to this from a certain place, but when you do that, it will actually put the path on your map. So I think it's better that the user is able to do that. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So when you click on this, it not only gives you the explanation, but it gives you all the information that you put in here. And again, remember, a shift enter will allow you to have new lines within your explanation. So we can add even another layer. Okay. And let's call this layer, Santa Fe. Okay, and I can just keep on adding and adding, so if I go, now let's go to Santa Fe. Okay, boom, there's Santa Fe. So I can add it, I can do all the things I just did with Billy the Kid, but you can see that I've got the different options here in the different layers. And so you can preview this, and again, it gives you a preview, but it's kind of a little bit deceiving on really what it looks like. You're better off going off into a different browser. It just shows you a more true view, but you can see that the users can click. Because I didn't add anything to this for Santa Fe, it's showing pictures that Google already has up there. But this one, I took that away and I added my own. So not only does it give me the pictures of Billy, but it also has my video that somebody can start and play. Huge, huh? Nothingness. What you want to do is you want to share this map. So you can either embed it into your blog or your website, whatever you're using, or you can give them a link. Now these links are very long, so you can go into bit.ly.com and shorten them, but when you go click on share, you can either send it to somebody via address, or you can give them a link. Now if I just say copy link and I go in, and you can see how long those links are, they're very big, it's going to give them a security message, okay, because they need to have rights. They're not owners of this map. These maps are private. They're not public. So if you're going to be sharing a link with people, you want to give the world access to it, but they have to have the link. So if I go back in to the sharing and say change to anyone with this link, now anybody with this link can view it. Now you have two options. You can either make them an editor, so if you're collaborating with somebody, or you just want them to be able to view it, okay? Do not make people editors unless you're doing some back-end collaboration with somebody. But when you're just putting this link out to the world, you want it to be viewers. Then that way they can't edit your map, okay? Editors can, okay? So we're going to copy, and if I go back in there, boom, there's my map, okay? Notice how we are really pulled out away from New Mexico. That was another frustrating thing I have found about this. So I centered this pretty close up, okay, when I did my default. So when I did my defaults, I mean, you can see how close up I am, but when my viewers look at it, it doesn't look like that. So you really have to kind of go in and play with the defaults many times over. Do this when you recenter it or bring it closer. You got to wait a few minutes because it takes a few minutes for it to save it out to the world. And you want to open up a brand new browser. Don't do it in the browser that you already had open. It tends to cache it and stay the old scale that you had before. So now, as you see, I'm a lot further in than I was before. So this is our map. Has all the stuff that we put in here. We can look at the pictures. We've got our video. You know, we have all the different options. We can go into Santa Fe. You know, this is just absolutely wonderful how you can make these maps for your different trips. Again, your hauls. I have a person that subscribes to us that does earthquake reports. You know, maybe she can put her different earthquake reports on the map of where these things are. Hikes, you know, backcountry, four-wheeling, where you went fishing, you know, where are these different fishing holes that you went to, what did you catch there, how much did you catch, what were their weights, so people can judge what's the best place to go fishing. You know, maybe you do the metal detectors and you want to show where you found different things with your metal detector. There's so many things that you can do. Use your imagination. Use this for your sites, your websites, your blogs, your vlogs, whatever you're doing. It is a powerful tool. Make sure to check out the links in the description. They help support this channel. And thank you so much for coming by. You have no idea how much we appreciate it.